possibly one of the flyest records ever made. What it do, man? This is your man, King Eric, the media assassin. You're now tuned in to episode 471 of Off the Cuff Radio, giving y'all the live and direct exclusive interviews and hardcore hip-hop. Show sponsored by Buddy Boy Entertainment, sponsored by Fleetwood and the Cotton Pickers Boutique, Da Vinci Clothing. And we got my host, T-Mac, the facts on the line. What's good, my man?
What's going on, man? It's Monday Nitro, doing it the right way all day, in the spirit of hip-hop. We're just blessed to be doing this again. And King, the gentleman we have on tonight, he is the other half of the tremendous tag team from Queens, because you know a couple weeks ago we had Mike Geronimo. As you said, when he dropped that track in 1997, it was definitely a part of that East Coast excellence, you know, repping the NY So Fly, especially coming from Queens. He's one of the undisputed kings of it. And when you think about the name Royal Flush, you don't necessarily think about the winning hand in the card game more than the regalness of where he represents in Flushing, Queens. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man, the legend, representing NY So Fly, Royal Flush. Welcome to Off the Cuff, man.
Yo.
What's up, man?
What you do, man?
What's good, fellas? What's going on? I'm trying to set this up in my car the right way.
Gotcha. It's only royalty, Doug.
Yeah, we had to make sure we everything is lined up and on board,
right,
man. First of all, big shout out to Pittsburgh Pat for making this connection happen. He should be on shortly.
Absolutely.
But, man, I'm off the cuff radio, man. First of all, I got to salute you, man, because out here in the Carolinas, that one track right there, that made us young dudes want to go out to the mall and buy all the mall jewelry up, man.
That's dope. Respect that.
Man, look,
we was out there like,
VA.
that was the anthem for jewelry shopping right there, man. We was out there looking like Mr. T's out there.
Yes,
well,
it was.
I mean, for my generation, the generation before me, they had Slick Rick. For my generation, it was more. It wasn't too much jewelry. It was more like the change of clothes, like the army suits, So it wasn't a lot of people doing the jewelry, so I kept it there. I'm a jewelry head, so that's something I like to do. So that was definitely a hot single for me.
Definitely, Flush. And I mean, out here in Virginia, man, I mean, look, y'all kept it fly and frosty, you know what I'm saying, in terms of keeping it glistening. We was listening. That track right there, definitely, and we, when we think about Iced Out Medallions and we think about worldwide, I mean, this was an introduction to, what you would end up dropping, Ghetto Millionaire, which was definitely one of the classics. Shout out to Source Magazine, shout out, to Double XL, who were doing profiles with it. Obviously you represent, man. I mean, obviously you represent Flushing, Queens, and, when we think about that borough in general, we think about yourself, we think about Mike Geronimo, we think about 50 Cent, we think about Ja Rule, we think about when we go to QB houses, shout out to Black Poet and Comet, representing Screwball Radio, along with King.
That's true.
We think about Lil. What up, man? Yeah, man. Capone Nori. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so much history, so many names, and that's the short list of all the goats, that come from y'all, where y'all rep, man. I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you got into the game, where it all started for you.
I mean, I was I'm from Flushing, and coming up, music-wise in Flushing. The first time I really started getting to it was Large Professor. He's from Flushing too.
Shout out Extra P.
Yeah, Large Professor from Flushing. I mean, and then where Large Professor lived, Mike Geronimo lived in that same little part. It's probably like a block away from me. It ain't far, right? We all in the same neighborhood. So I was mostly doing streets. So street stuff. So when like, call my Uncle Baby. So when I was I would come up to the block where Mike and them live. People would call me to come up there, or if a large festival was having a lot of people come up there, like if he was having like Bismarck used to come up there. He had that little Nautica Cat Quest van, and like them used to come. So I used to just go through and just really like just hold it down for Flushing, make sure everything was all right. But then when Mike came out, Mike Geronimo came out, and I was listening to the song. And I was like, playing, Mike did something. And he was playing. I was like, Mike Geronimo. I said, Mike up the block. I said, yeah. So I played it for me. It was crazy. And then as I'm playing it, I walk to the store and I bump into Mike Geronimo. So bumping into Mike Geronimo's like, yo, I got a show or something this week. I said, cool, I'm going to come. He said, Irvin always going to be there. But when it happened, when they got there, Irvin them didn't show, but his whole label was there. And then I got on stage to be a hype man, and we ain't never turned back from each other.
Yeah. And it's dope to see Flush, to see especially, because you would end up being prominently featured on Mike's debut album, The Natural, which is, his was released in 95, you dropped in 97, within 2 years of each other, and both of you dropped undisputed East Coast classics. King and myself, we always talk on the air, lovingly and jokingly, what we have called the old New York sound. That old New York. And there were just certain records during that time that just resonate. It just, yeah, man, the sound, the air was different. You think of skyscrapers, you think of the buildings, you think about the blocks, you think about the ball courts. Everything, yes.
Yeah, completely. But you got to realize that when I went to the studio, my competition wasn't everybody. My competition was Nas, DMX. I had to go in there and I had to sound better than Jadakiss. I had to sound better. Whoever was hot, you really had to be a rapper, Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like just everybody's rapping now, so let me just sound like somebody and I get accepted. Before I had to sound like myself and try to make better bars than the next man that's out and dope. You know how that shit felt going to the studio and listening to Illmatic and saying, what the fuck can I say now? You know what I'm saying? That's how songs came about. I was like, you know what? All right, Illmatic was dope, but ain't nobody doing jewelry. Like, I got to do something different. So I had to find Iced Out Medallions. When the L.A. Coast beat, like, let me do worldwide. I had to make music to fit what was going on at the time, not just to do music for my cousin that got a studio. Big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you look at it too, Flush, when you talk about how you were building your bars, especially when you were descended from the pedigree of greats. Of course, Large Professor, he was already had a few years then, under his belt, of course, starting with Main Source, and then, eventually, going solo. So we're talking about roughly from his debut 7 years ago, 7 years in 1990, and then, obviously, from their debut, Breaking Atoms, to where he dropped his LP, which would end up getting released some years later. But when he dropped I Just Want to Chill, I believe that was, 95, 96?
Could have been 96. Wrap my hand around $100 bill, you're right.
Yeah, because that album wouldn't come out until some years later. Thank God I got my hands on it. Shout out to FYE. So and when we talk about the jury game as well, we're seeing a resurgence in the jury, because we're seeing, of course, shout out to the Wu-Tang. Around 95, we start seeing, Raekwon with the brolic, Tarantula piece with the Cuban links, the ice cream video was where everybody was rocking. We see Nas just totally drop it on everybody with that Q piece. Oh my God! I remember can you remember the first time we saw that QB piece Nas had?
Yeah. Yeah, his call got dropped, though, but he gonna call back though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, man, that's when the jewelry gang was at its peak right there, man.
Yeah, man, but when you think about it, though, King, when we look at that era from the 90s, of course, and then Puffy, You know, I mean, how can we forget Big? You know, we can't forget the legendary B.I.G. Biggie Smalls, man, because Big was rocking some heavy shit. You know, I remember when he was rocking the two, you know, the Cubans with the two Jesus pieces. I mean, and a Rolex. I mean, this is where, you know, when we look at what Puff and Big did, and people will say what they want about Puff, but one thing I can say about Puff.
He's back on now.
Flush, you with us?
Yeah,
he's back on.
Okay. Yeah, King and myself was just talking about all the jewelry that came out during that time. Yes, we were talking about the Nas piece. You know, when he dropped that QB joint with that big ass QB medallion and the Cuban, and we were like, oh shit! And then you come, and then you drop basically an anthem for all the chain rockers. I mean, did you realize how big that song was going to become?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I just knew something about the horns. I knew, like, it was going to stick out. I knew it wasn't going to be, like, you know, like being in the studio with, like, Alchemist and Havoc is kind of dark. That was like, bam, bam, bam. And I was like, if I could just talk my little swagger to that, it was crazy. So when we knocked it out, Capone had just went to jail. Capone from CNN, that's my first cousin. So he had just went to jail, and the producer was like, well, dude, you know the kid Nori? I said, you know, we from Left Rack, you know, we know of each other. He was like, his voice on there just be fantastic. And, you know what I'm saying? So that's when Capone had called me from jail, and then, you know, we got into Nori number, and then I had to meet Nori in the studio, and we chopped it up, and, you know, that's when that song came about.
Tell Nori I still want that Ed Gray California jersey if he still has it 25 years later. Tell him I still want that jersey.
That's crazy. I think I was just with him maybe like 2 months ago, and I think I asked for that jersey too. I just asked for that jersey.
That's a collector's item right there. You know what? If we bring that up and next time he do on Drink Champs, he got to at least wear the jersey on Drink Champs.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I don't care if you don't got it. You gotta go buy it. Tell somebody remake that shit.
Man, shout out to Nike. Shout out to Nike. If y'all listening, go back to making the jerseys the way y'all used to, and from the years of 1997 to 2003. Go back to those jersey styles y'all had. Who are some of your? So when you think about it, Flush, when you really got serious with it, who are some of your influences that really inspired you when you really was like, okay, I'm gonna do this?
Me, like I said, when I was outside getting money, one thing I did was, like, we would be in my building, and you know, we'd get drunk, and somebody would always beat on a glass, like make a beat, and then I would just talk about everything that happened, all the current events that happened in the hood. I'd be like, Shantae came in the lobby and got smacked, 2 crackheads, the cops was coming back. You know, I would just, whatever I seen, I would think of things like, my nigga, you got to put that in words. You got to put it in words. So, you know, I mean, that's how, you know, once I went to the studio with Mike Girano, if y'all hear the Natural album, if he got 14 songs on him, I'm on like 12.
Yeah.
Whether it's a hook. Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm like, so, you know what I mean? So that's when I was every day. How we did the Natural album was whatever we was feeling that day. From Everything Has Changed. We was in the studio, like, yo, I'm fine. Fuck, I'll be getting money, and that's how the hook came about, you know? Like, that was an everyday movement. Then after that, I knew how to do it, you know what I mean? Then I was ready for my own shit.
Your verse on Everything Changes, I mean, that verse on Everything Changes, I mean, that last part said, I wish it happened to me because losing you is a tragedy. I mean, God. I mean, dude, you just like delivered.
What you think about Queens rappers is that y'all have a unique way of just saying stuff. It can just sound regular to the regular Joe, but the way y'all say it just sounds so fly.
Oh, yeah, you got me. But you know how Queens is, though. We don't try to think about our own words, that language, that's right. You know what I mean? That's just it. But you know, and then, you know, coming from Queens, like me, I wasn't like I listen to one type of music. You know what I mean? Like I could sit there and listen to the NWA and then listen to Native Tongue, you know, Tribe Called Quest. You know what I mean? I could, and that's how I put my music together, man. Like I could listen to the hard shit and then listen to the hip hop shit and put it all together and make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I was like a a common sense and a DMX. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or so,
Yeah.
and then throw my swagger with it.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know if you remember this from years back on Facebook because we're friends up there. That dude that sent you that picture with that Ghetto Millionaire cassette and that Street Ball CD, that was me.
Oh, I still got a copy of it. God damn it. Okay.
That was me.
Yeah, I took a copy of that picture. That was very, very dope. Because I don't have it.
Say what?
Oh man, I don't have that shit. I got somebody gonna get it for me. I'm gonna tell somebody. So I need a copy of my first album.
Man, I mean, but
we gonna have a hustle and flow moment right here. The only difference is,
well,
Flush ain't like Ludacris character. He's a humble guy.
I remember going up to Atlanta, man, and Ludacris was the host of the radio station. You know what I mean? Ludacris did my interviews. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow, it was Chris Lover. Oh man, what was it like?
Yeah. I mean, it was just crazy. Like me, I didn't care. Like I was just that rapper that I have $500,000 worth of jewelry on, and I go to any hood, and I just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But so when I went up to Ludacris, I was out in Atlanta bugging out, and I didn't realize that later on that was the guy that interviewed me.
Yeah, because you figured that would have been like that was because he dropped his Incognito album. That was about maybe 98, 99, because then he would come out in 2001 with Back for the First Time. So you know, this is roughly about 3 or 4 years before he really becomes like really known to the hip hop. It's crazy how all y'all history intertwines. You know, Capone is your first cousin. You're interviewing Chris Lover before he becomes Ludacris. You know, you're already coming from Queens. So in terms of when you're actually, you know, going about getting your record deal to release what would become Ghetto Millionaire, what was the process like for you in terms of, you know, how that business was, you know, taken care of?
I mean, the bad part, it wasn't no business for us, man. It was something new. That's why a lot of probably my generation be like, yo, how this guy coming out? These niggas got cars and money, because we set the platform for them to be a lot easier. You know what I mean? So you can't really hate on that, but it wasn't that. Like music was my getaway from the streets. Music was like my release time to get away from the drug dealing and the crimes and the shootings and all that. So that was my great adventures. You know, I wish I had the mentality that instead of wanting to go to great adventures, how to buy great adventures. That's where my smartness should have came in. But like I said, I was just happy to be away from the streets. So, you know, we were just happy to be in music. So we didn't really take it as serious. That's probably why a lot of, you know, my generation don't have the foundation if they're not a Jay-Z or someone that kept pushing, you know, someone that was an underground artist. Not so many of us made it. It was that factor there that we was coming from shit and happy to be on planes. You know what I mean?
Right. What do a lot of the heads got to understand about that history? Because we know about King and myself, we're children of the culture. King is an accomplished journalist. I have literally every Source magazine from 1994 and every XXL from 1997. So, yeah. I even, you know, and I'm going to shoot you a surprise later on from one of those joints, which I guess I'll just say, which won't be a surprise. I think you'll appreciate your 1997 feature that you did in Source magazine when they profiled you. I still have it.
Word, I need that too. It's crazy because, and my label, when they did it, I think the one the first had mics, and then the copies after that had 4 mics. That's why I was like, damn, but that's dope.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
But I think also, yeah. But I think for what it is too is there's been a lot of consternation, controversy about what was going on in the Source. We all know the story. We're not going to get into it here. We've talked about it so much already. But one thing about it is, even if the Source at the time was considered the barometer of how dope you were.
Hip-hop.
Yeah, it was. like King said. And even the Source had to come back in 2001 when they had to re-rate, when they reappraised some of the albums that they didn't give just credit to or they didn't review, and had to give them the 5 mics for what the achievements were and the accomplishments, the contributions to the culture. Your album was a classic from 1997, hands down. It's on the same level as Wu-Tang Forever. It's on the same level as, of course, Biggie's Life After Death. It's right up Capone Noriega's The War Report. It's up there with all of that. It's up there with Buster's
that,
going.
Man.
It was.
It's a rounded album, man. Like it ain't just shoot 'em up. It tells you hard times. Still came home with shine. Family problems. Like I gave a message of the world. Like I said, my album. Whatever was going on in the world, that's what I normally talk about. This is good.
Desert King, we still got him on?
Yeah, he's still on the line. Hey, you on, bro?
Okay, just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
okay,
back.
we
He's
got
back
him.
on line.
Yeah.
Family Problems was the closing track off of the first side of of Ghetto Millionaire. And when I first heard that string section with the dings in it, and then you really go into that whole story, that was just something you vividly portrayed, something that all too much a lot of heads in the hood go through. And I think you perfectly captured that picture. The narrative of it was so powerful. It was so riveting. It was so engaging. Probably out of that album, probably one of my favorite 3 tracks on that album. All of them were dope. Definitely in my top 3 for what I was really enjoying. What was the inspiration behind that?
I could say maybe 50% of it's true on my part.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then the other half is just reality of people I know that went through that and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I went through that situation, but my father's still alive. But
right.
You know what I mean? I did something to him, but he's still alive. And that story was true because of the fact that I'm talking about my mother going through it, but I didn't wild out on him until he hit my brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? On that song.
Of it. Right.
Yeah. Once you hit my little brother in the face, that's it. Now I'm going to get something to hurt you. So that's where that came about. Like a lot of the shit on my album is definitely true stories. Definitely.
And I mean, when you look at it, what was it like in terms of the? Oh, go ahead, King. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say is that with the Ghetto Millionaire album, it showed a lot of diversity. It showed different sides of the coin. Because at that time, you either had to be too far left or you had to be too far right.
Yes.
You found that balance. It still made it sound dope. That's what made that album stand out to me.
Yeah, and I took a lot of old samples. I mean, just the title of the album alone is Ghetto Millionaire. That don't mean I got $1 million in the ghetto. I'm just treated like a millionaire. When the ice cream truck pull up, all the kids come to me. When they go to the store and I tell them give me something from the store, they know to keep the change. That's what made me, when they had park jams and stuff like that, I funded it. The basketball teams, I funded it. So that's what made me a ghetto millionaire, not because I had $1 million. It was just because I was a ghetto millionaire.
And you had that respect like a millionaire. You had $1 million worth of, game, respect, and fame. You was made before the record.
Absolutely.
The production on that album was immaculate. Shout out to Buck Wild, LES, and so many others. What was it like getting all of them? Yeah, Beat Miners. What was it like in terms of getting all of them together when it was time to do the album?
I mean, during that time, remember, a lot of them producers, they worked with Mike Geronimo for his album, and I was on so many songs. And they was fucking hot. Like, you got a beat from Buck Wild, like Easy LP at that time, man. I was like unbelievable.
Yeah, GIPC, all of that, yeah.
Word. And then to go and grab the Beat Miners, and they out with Smith and Wesson and Duck Down.
Right,
It was no. I found every sound, and even all them guys, like even when you listen to Nas' album, you listen to LES, you really hear like a old sample. Remember, LES did worldwide for me. That don't sound nothing like LES does. So every producer, I pick something different from everything they do.
And shout out to LES, man, a good friend of mine. Down here in Virginia.
Yes.
Great guy, tremendous talent. One of the most realest individuals, man. So
hey,
when
I
did
think
you
we got
realize?
Pat on the line too.
Pat, you here with us?
Yeah. What's happening, Royal Flush? What's up, man?
What's going on with you? How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm the one to book you, man. Pat. Sorry, I was running a little late, man. As you can, we should take care of it. Thanks for coming on the show, man. How y'all doing?
Better late than never, baby. We here.
Pleasure. Yeah.
And so I'm rolling up again, so we doing right timing.
That's what's up. Yeah. Go ahead. You was talking, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I was just saying, so Flush, when did you realize that the album was really beginning to take off in terms of you're really getting notoriety?
When I first did like Moving On Your Week production, when I threw that out, but first I threw out like Rotten Apple, and Rotten Apple was like, I couldn't get the sample clear because it was a church sample, but that was like,
okay,
that was something different that hip hop artists like me wasn't doing, like talking to, giving a little soft side to shit that how you feel and things you go through. Everybody was just so tough. Everybody throw your guns in the air. Everybody wanted to smack you. Nobody really just showed that side. So that's when I came out. That was cool. And then once I seen like the Snoop in them with the LA, this in New York, and I wasn't really mad. So when they did that, then I had went by the studio when Tragedy and was doing the LA,
right?
And I was like, to me, I wasn't mad at LA because I'm like them. When it's on, it's on. I'll come and step on your building. I don't give a fuck. I was mad at Biggie. So my whole worldwide song had nothing to do with LA. I was talking about you're just a boy, you're not bad enough, bad boy, shot with no evidence. Like I was just talking about the whole bad boy, the whole Biggie. So I wasn't shitting on nothing with LA. That's why when I went to LA while that song was out, they actually was singing this shit with me.
Wow, and I don't think we've ever. I don't think nobody's ever heard that story before in full. Flush, did we just get an exclusive with that one?
Yes. I mean, but now when you go back and listen to the rhyme, you're gonna be like, holy shit, New York, New Big, coming from Queens, where we don't get caught up in between. I was just saying, keep your mind on Queens. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody else doing, but us niggas in Queens, we do not do that. We're not allowing that. And that's all that was.
Queens dudes in the water stepped in a plate.
Queens has always been live, though, man. Like, Queens has always been, like, to me, like, I don't know, I'm from Pennsylvania. But, like, I've been in New York a lot. I've been locked up and shit. So I've been locked up with New York dudes. And hip-hop and just all around, like, Queens has always kind of just been, like, I mean, of course, it's New York, but it's always been its own world, though. Like, Queens won't just go along with the flow. They're their own place. You know what I'm saying? Like, Queens is its own world. It's Queens, man. That's why it gets a lot of hate at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, for real, I mean, I even know this. Like, I know the jail shit, the Rikers shit, the Queens. Like, when people say that shit, see, when I say that, he knows what I'm talking about. That's how strong Queens is, though, that people had to team up against Queens. You know what I'm saying? That's how Queens has always been. It's its own world. So, people, like, they make enemies, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to go to war either. They're strong,
Nah, we have morals. Like we have morals, you know what I mean? That and we stick by them. Like when you hear a lot of like snitching and all, you don't really hear too much Queens and shit like that. Like we respected people that came before us. We respected generations. And I can have beef with you and you from Queens and we locked up together. We'll handle that shit when we get back to the streets. But right now it's me and you against everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
That Queens vs. the World shit, man. I'm telling you. I rock with Queens.
Y'all with the record.
It's their own world, bro. I'm telling you. Queens is their own world, man. Like, it might be one of the 5 boroughs, man, but I'm telling you, Queens is its own place. And, like, you ain't going to tell Queens to fall in line and follow some shit that they don't want to follow. Like, no, they do shit their own way, man. And you've seen that even in hip hop history, man. Like even with like Destroy and Rebuild by Nas and shit. Like that shit. Yeah, of course it was Nas and it was on a huge album and everything, but that shit kind of stayed within like Queens though. Like Queens. Like
yeah. That's true facts. I even think about it. You're right.
Made a lot of noise, but if you think about it, like it pretty much got handled by Queens people. Like Queens Emcees handled that. Like. Yeah. I put Mike Geronimo on the spot. I put Mike on the spot, man. I need your top 5 from Queens, man.
You know how great it was though. It was a little easy for me coming up with Mike Geronimo. At one point in time, Mike Geronimo was like bigger than Nas. Mike was the sex symbol, the rap encore. Like he was the shit. Word, like so that it was a lot easy, man. Like I was in the studios when DMX came through for the first time, and Jay-Z wasn't really nobody, and they getting on songs with us. Word, like Mike was it, man. If we just had the right label, we'd probably been out of here. But besides that, he made my life.
Yeah. Is that what did it? Was just the wrong label, like wrong place and time? Because it's definitely not lack of skill or nothing.
No, the wrong label because they didn't know how to balance the two. It was like at the time, even if music's going, like they didn't want to shoot the video for Iced Out Medallions. I paid for that out of my pocket.
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just at that point they was too pretty with it, and Wu-Tang and them everybody was coming out gritty, and that's why the Puff song came about. When the label gave Puff $100,000 for the song, and then they didn't really have much more to do my motherfucking album, I was like, oh man, this shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that I gotta understand about those days too, man. It's just a lot of people were dope, and just the wrong people being the gatekeepers, and a lot of people that were in charge of things didn't even really understand what they had, didn't understand the culture. And just
I'm not
if
sure.
they didn't really fuck with you, then you just weren't going nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? And so it was just like if they didn't like what you brought to them, they're just like, nope. And your video wasn't coming out. They weren't paying for this. And a lot of great talent got mixed. Got lost in the sauce, man. You know what I mean? Just because somebody that has no idea what hip hop even means or. Well, I don't even understand these words you're using. And I don't like how he came in here like that. And one bad meeting could just mean your career. They're not gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
When the other guy is yes sir, no sir.
And then you got to remember who the fuck's your A&R. Somebody that probably don't even be in the streets listening to your fucking type of music.
Mm-hmm. Right. Jizza spoke. I mean, what is it? Jizza spoke about that in the Protect Your Neck. First of all, who's your A&R? Mountain Climber who plays an electric guitar, but he don't know the meaning of dope when he took it for a suicide rap. That's cleaner than the bar soap, and I'm the dirtiest thing in sight. You know what I mean? In terms
that was a lie.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the music is one thing for us. Coming from the street, because we got to give our audience, especially our younger audience, a history lesson. What was it really like during that time on the block back in those days, like from the, early 90s through your era, through the 2000s?
Music-wise, street-wise?
Both. I
mean, street-wise, I said it was more of it was more respect level. It wasn't nobody stepping on your toes. If you made it to be who you was, then you was, everybody around you was holding you down for that. So yeah, street-wise, I always was doing good. I never really let jail time stop me. I never really got in trouble that much. I always knew how to cut out before things happened. I was strategic, man. I already know what my day's scheduled for the next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I premeditate everything that happens before it happens. You know what I mean? When I wake up, I already know my whole itinerary, you know? So I try to live like that. And if there's something I don't like, I usually just, I don't fuck with it. If something just say, nah, son, don't go, all right, fuck it, I ain't going. You know, if two things happen before I get to a destination, I turn around. You know, that's just my morals with it. As far as like hip hop was I always had that character where I knew I was gonna always be something. You know, if you sit and you watch the Kanye West shit on Netflix, if you look at it, that shit is dope.
I'm about to watch it tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's early. It's early. You don't see nothing yet. You don't see it don't start even yet. But you can just see how determined he was when he knew he was going to be something. Me, I was caught up in, am I going to be that person in the streets or in hip hop? That's probably why I was stuck at a 50-50 balance with both of them, and I didn't where I was supposed to be in hip hop because I was still deciding do I want the street life or the hip hop life. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good follow-up question then, because there's something going on right now. It's been in the news, and it ties in with it goes a little far back. For a long time, we've been hearing that New York has lost its style in hip hop. Like New York isn't New York anymore, and then we see a lot of the new New York guys that blow up are the drill rappers that are influenced by like the Chicago scene and all that. And now you see the new mayors with rappers talking about banning drill music and stuff. So like, what's your opinions on that? I hate to make you the ambassador for New York hip hop, but just what's your thoughts on all this going on now?
Shit, I listen to rock and roll. Goddamn it, drill music ain't got something. A lot of shit on rock and. Let me let you listen to some heavy metal shit. But I think that in my generation, man, like I used to have guys that was able to shoot and stay on the block and wild out. And when they wanted to do things for me, I had jobs for them. Whether they came out with me and they was holding the records, whether they was holding the posters, whether they was putting up my stickers, whether they was coming on tour with me and dropping out and giving somebody my postcard. So I gave them jobs. I think that these new rappers that come out, the people that's around them don't have no way to show them that they want to be qualified to get money with them. So they think out and shoot a nigga, that's how you going to get that artist's motherfucking eye. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a nigga be like, you know what, man, that nigga get on the phone and call the radio stations every day. I want him. So niggas don't give no jobs, man. So that's all the hood do. You got one famous nigga and 30 broke niggas, and 10 of them are shooters. What's going to happen at every show?
Somebody going to get shot.
Somebody going to get shot.
Shots are going to get fired.
Yeah, somebody going to get shot, man. They didn't come there with, you came there to better your career. They didn't come there with that. They came there to how they better their friendship. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
so there's a difference. So, yeah, nigga, I'm trying to show you my friendship, and somebody who stepped on your sneakers? I'm killing a nigga for you. What sneaker you stepped on? You know what I'm saying? You don't have no jobs, man.
But, I mean, Flush, you broke that down because, you know, King, Pat, myself, we've talked about this on air and off air about how you have to be careful with the people you bring into your circle, you know, because, you know, it's, you have, there's a lot of times when we look at the business of how things have happened with a lot of people over the years in the industry, a lot of people don't necessarily know how to separate the street from their business, because after you become a rapper in terms of really making it, that's where your job is primarily, you are an artist, it is a business, you treat it as such, and you only handle the street shit if it's really something you have to go there with, but preferably you try to stay away from engaging in drama. And some of these artists, they just actively invite the drama. You know, and drill music, I've said this on air, we're all children of this culture. I'm never going to be one to ban any type of hip-hop ever, but I will say that in certain levels, because when we think about the era you came up in, when we first heard you, Flush, it was a balance of everything. You know, we still had groups, you know, I mean, you know, it was we had R&B groups. You know, we had I mean,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You know, we had Missy doing her thing. You know, Aaliyah was still alive. You know, go ahead.
I played Missy. No, and I played Missy in my car, and it was accepted. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was able to listen to Nas and then listen to De La Soul and the same right after each other. You know, it was just different. But, you know, and also when I came out my generation, when I had to go do something, half the time I couldn't bring no niggas because I got the radio rep, the A&R, 2 people from the label. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of niggas couldn't really go out with a lot of people now. Now there's no to bring. Like if I went up to Hot 97, it'd be 2 people from my record label and 1 friend. You know what I mean? That's how it was in my generation.
Right. Yeah. Ice-T said it best one time when he talked about how a lot of these beefs and these problems start because it's not necessarily the artists themselves, it's the individuals that's in their crew. They usually get into it with somebody else, and that's where the drama starts off. You know, which once again, you have to be careful who you bring around with you. Now, Flood, you may not think you remember this, but I do. Because while we're talking about band and rap music, you appeared in somebody's very, very famous video of a remix of a remake when Dionne Warwick did What the World Needs Now Is Love, and you happened to be in that video along with Veronica. Yes, Flush, I remember, because you was rocking.
Yes, hell yeah.
How did that come about?
I think Dionne Warwick's son, he did beats, something like that. And they was doing like a We Are the World song right now for hip hop. So they had went and got like so they went and got Tyrese. It was mad people on it. Kane, I think it was mad people on it. And when I went down there, I went with Mike Mount, and then I'm down there and Bobby Brown's on it. But I went down there and I had $1 million chain on. So they looking at me like I was already. So they looked at me like I was already famous. So after Mike got out the booth, they said, "You go." I said, "Oh, okay." So I just went there and I just laid like 6 bars, and I was on a song. All right. That was it. We went to Good Morning America. We went on a roll with that shit.
Oh wow! What was that like, man? What was that like?
Wow.
Because for Dionne Warwick, she's always going to be respected as an artist. Of course, her, C. Dolores Tucker, rest in peace. You know, of course, Melba Moore as well. You know, they were all part of that coalition to, during that time in the early 90s, about how destructive rap music was along with, Calvin Butts. This is during the time where we're seeing, this uprising against what is considered, sexist, misogynistic music. Shout out, of course, man, to Aunt Maxine Waters, Councilwoman, California, because she really took a stand for us to speak on behalf of the hip-hop nation when she said, these are our children, these are my children. We need to listen to them in terms of what's going on. And to see Dionne make that turn where she really began to embrace the culture, how big was that for all of you, realizing like, yo, this is like music royalty and she accepts us now?
For me, because I think, like I said, it was Mike on it, but, they had Barbie, they had Tyrese, they had a couple mad people. But I was like the only real, Corrupt, I think, was on it. Maybe me and Corrupt could have been like the only real, like, street part of that. Where it worked. Like we went to like a lot of hoods, and when we did the songs, a lot of people came out. Like I was the first one to start giving out clothes and shit like that. So it kind of worked and started a lot of rappers. Like now, instead of being scared going places, I go to the hood. I give out free white tees. I give out free shit. So it.
But King, that is with us still.
Yeah, we still love it. This call that got dropped. He gonna call back.
Okay.
Yeah, his line seemed kind of weak and shit for a minute. I kept hearing like some loud static and shit.
Yeah, he's probably going to another part. And
Yeah, but definitely, Pat. It's just great to have you with us as always. What's been going on with you, man?
Man, just chilling. Thanks for holding it down for me, man. I had kind of a hectic evening, man. I had my nieces and shit, so
okay.
Thanks for holding it down for me.
So how was Mike? Everything was all right?
Yeah, you good, man.
Yeah, you back on.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right, I'm back on.
Yeah.
So y'all did Mike's interview last week?
Yeah, we did
it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we did 2
Oh,
weeks
okay.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's my
boy
right there.
He got him, and I said, man, we can't have Mike Geronimo without reaching out to Royal Plus, man. You know,
man.
So, to me, I fuck with both of y'all heavy, man, and you can't tell either one of your stories without each other, man. And to me, like, I follow hip hop, man. I love New York. New York and New Orleans are my two favorite spots in hip hop, and to me, all you guys are stars, man. I don't give a fuck about what record sales and all that shit. Like, I don't care about none of that. Like, I really fuck with this shit. Like,
and then a lot of people gotta realize, like, I think I did songs with like the best. You know what I'm saying? I got songs with Big Pun. I got songs with Big L. I got songs with
names their top five, man. You're on track with them. You got songs with everybody, man.
It was at one point, like, if you was doing an album, it was like, all right, cool, you talking about drugs on the street? You gotta go get flush. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm on a lot of people's shit. But man, I done did songs with Mac 10. I done did songs with E40, man, Twister. There's not really nobody you really can't name, man. Sean Price. I got an album coming out with Sean Price next month that nobody never heard these lyrics.
Oh man.
We didn't know Sean had a lot of unreleased content, man, because he had an album out with Killer G. Wow.
Yeah, he got all kinds of stuff, man. I know his wife. I talked to his wife, Bernadette, and I actually was gonna have her for an interview, and on my old show, I ended up leaving that show and stuff. That's why I never made it happen. But he had that album with Lil Fame with MLP, and I was trying to set something up to get an interview with them. I said I just moved on from that show, but she was like, man, he said, don't worry, you'll have another opportunity because we got mad stuff. Like, we got mad stuff that he recorded and stuff. So, there's a lot of songs like music left. I mean, his career, you have to think there is. I mean, the dude has so much music out there that, like,
rest in peace. But the last year before he went, I was with him every day. We in the studio every day. You know what I'm saying?
And that's impressive because Sean Price doesn't like rappers. You know what I'm saying? So if you're friends with you're friends with Sean Price, you're an ill dude. Sean Price don't like people.
Word.
Illa G taught me that.
I will part 2 interview. I tell stories about some of the people I did songs with, because they're crazy.
Hell yeah, man.
Say less.
Illa G taught me that about Sean, man. Illa G told me that about Sean Price. Like, anybody that had a good relationship with Sean Price, he really rocked with you then because he didn't like people. And, like, that might be why he might not have reached the full potential of his career as far as opportunities and stuff, because he just didn't really like that part of the game. He didn't like the fake smiling and handshake shit, Like, he didn't want to, he didn't want to dance for you. Like, he wasn't feeling you. He wasn't feeling you. So the people you've seen around him, he really rocked with them. So,
imagine doing an album
with
him.
Man, that says something about you, man.
Doing an album with him.
Rest in peace to Sean Price. He's truly one of the greats, man. He really is, and that's not one of those, he passed away, so people elevate him. No, man. Like, Sean Price, like, listen to him, man. Like,
go through his catalog. People go through Sean Price's catalog for a little while.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. It really is. Like, it's incredible.
that Helter Skelter album was, of course, LaFleur, LaFleur, Score Sky, the Fab Five, of course, when they actually dropped, Nocturnal. I mean, it was just, when you look at the game, because you mentioned earlier, Flush, about some of the collabs you did, and when you talked about, some of those collabs, those came off of the ODB album, the Osiris and the Trials and Tribulation of Russell Jones. What was your relationship with him?
Well, when he first came home, man, they had him on that medicine, man. That was kind of, how that shit could be, man. When you go on crazy shit, the shit they give you to calm you down, that shit was fucking him up. And when he came home, he still was Old Dirty Bastard, and his managers was managing me at the time. So when he came home, he had just signed to Rockefeller, and I heard him sitting there when Swiss was doing the beat, and he was writing it, but you seen it. So I'm just sitting there saying shit.
Hello? King, we got him still, or did the call drop?
It dropped, but he gonna call back though. Come on, Blog Talk, get it together, man. Get it together.
Right in the middle of an ODB story, dang.
I know, right, Pat?
It's like the power going out in the Super Bowl, man. Like shit.
He's back on right now.
Okay, Flush, go ahead.
Yeah. You got to finish that.
Right, so where I was at? I'm in the studio.
You're talking about ODB when you were in the writing sessions with him.
Yeah. Right. So, boy, I'm in the studio with Swiss. I see him writing, and as he's writing, he's getting stuck on certain words. So I'm saying shit, bang, bang, bang. And I can hear him listening to me and not really listen to the beat. So I was like, let me see if he's really writing it. So I look over, he's writing it. So now he's writing something else. He write like 2 more lines that I already know. Boom. So I wrote some more. Boom. I'm saying in my head. Then he was like, yo, come over here for a minute. So, yo, sit down with me. So we sat down from there, and I wrote the whole album, all of them, everything.
Oh wow! Oh
yeah, everything. From he did a song called "Where's Your Money?" I think with Busta Rhymes. We first came home.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that. Yeah, I wrote that one. And so I mean, but it wasn't like me taking me. I wrote for Old Dirty Bastard. First of all, it's like being an actor. I had to turn into Old Dirty Bastard.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't giving him Flush lyrics. I had to give him Old Dirty Bastard, shit like he do. So we sat there together. It's not like I went in and did the songs and he had to hear it and lay him over. No, every song he did together, we was right there together and wrote it together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But yeah, man, I had to be him, man. So I had to get into character. So I never take away that man's credit because there's only one Old Dirty Bastard in this world, and that was a friend that nobody could duplicate.
And he was a genius.
I hate when people were like, when we talk about like the greats of him, and like sometimes I just feel like there's a lot of people like that. If you weren't, some things you just kind of had to witness for yourself to understand why it was so special. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like, I can't really like put an Old Dirty Bastard record on for someone that doesn't understand who he is and explain to him why it's dope. Like.
Exactly.
You either get him or you don't, and it's just maybe he's just for younger people. Maybe they just don't get like what Old Dirty was, but for us that like lived through it and like he was so unique.
Our generation, we've seen the grind. We've seen nowadays. I turn on the TV, and I got to look at my kids and be like, "Who's that? The fuck they got a Ferrari? What song they made?" Like Old Dirty Bastard, we watch him get a deal and still go to welfare. We watch that whole man's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like me, and everybody I did a song with, I went to the studio. Nobody sent me a track, Pro Tools, and I did my verse and sent it back.
Yeah.
Never in my generation.
That's something that like that I truly miss in hip hop is like when you seen somebody was on somebody's album. Like, it kind of, like, made you feel good that, like, oh, these two dudes must really fuck with each other because you kind of understood that they had to hang out with each other to do it. But now, like, I can get a verse from Jadakiss tomorrow and put them on a song with The Game, and, like, they never even knew they were going to be on a song together, and it just doesn't seem genuine to me anymore. Like, when people say, oh, I got a song dropping tomorrow with this dude, and it's like, It was PayPal him some money and he spit some generic shit for it. Like, it just doesn't even, like, count to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, you heard you heard the chemistry between people and how it works. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you understood that. Like, when you heard certain songs, like, damn, man, those two just sound ill together, you know?
Because sometimes, like, a lot of times I went to the studio and we had a beat that we were supposed to do, but once me and that artist started vibing, we did something completely different. Right. You know, and that's how it's supposed to be.
You know, and that's the thing. Yeah, and that's the thing we missed at the time, y'all. Like Pat just so beautifully stated. Because when we look at the videos back in the day, when we look at the features, like Jodeci's "Love You for Life," when we saw T-Bars up in it. I mean, it was like shot to see. You know, it's like when we saw the Akinyele, the Bomb video, when we saw Kool G Rap up in it. You know, it was like, you know, it made sense. It's like, yo, you know, I mean, it just really. Any collaborations during that time, it really, really, like when Allure did Head Over Heels and they had Nas rapping on it, it really
that was
fit.
Crazy. Yeah.
You know, and it's like Pat said, it's like now it's so generic, it's so convoluted, it's so contrived, it's non-authentic.
And I think what we're talking about, though, is the difference is because if I need a verse from somebody now, I message them and tell them what the song is about, and they rap about it. Those songs that we're talking about that are legendary collaborations and shit, we don't even know what the original meaning of the original ideas were. Those songs might have come from a vibe that they got off of each other. And let's, you know, just something they ended up feeling. They were going through beats and like, I like how this one is. And you know what I mean? Like, they could have had a different idea of what they were going to do, but once they got together and vibe together, something else could have came of it. That's not going to happen today in a lot of situations because, like I said, hey, I'm doing a song about Coke. You know, here's your PayPal, send the verses over. You know what I'm saying? But like, when we were hanging out and kicking it, we might have like, you know, we might smoke and some funny shit could happen in the studio and we start laughing and shit. And now now we're going to make a high energy type of club record or something, or like, you know, a fun record, or, you know. We might have like a bad day or some shit, and right, you know, maybe going through something, and now we're vibing off each other and make, you know, a darker song or something. Like, they're not playing off of each other's vibes; they're just telling them what to rap about, and they just rap some bullshit generic verse about whatever. And it's just like, that's why a lot of these collabs don't fucking work. Like, a lot of collabs happen, and you forget they even happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing special about it anymore. Like, I don't know, man. All the shit, you know, all these rappers breaking records about streaming and shit. And it's like, yeah, man, like, I'm smart enough to know back in 1996, your single can't go platinum if you didn't make it a single. How are you supposed to judge how many times I played a song in my bedroom, dude? You know what I mean? I don't know how many times I listened to that track 8, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, if Rob Beat released the Infamous today, every song would be number 1. You know what I mean? But, like, you didn't release all the singles back then. Like,
you gotta look at it like this. The metrics have been manipulated because, just like Pat said, like, how these guys are doing millions now in streams, and they're just clicking on that video like 50 to 100 times. Whereas before, the metrics was different because you knew who was really
different. Like, of course Drake is breaking all the records. Like, of course he is. Because like when Jay put out the Blueprint, like, every song couldn't go number 1 because there's only so many songs that he releases as a single. So you can't go number 1 for your whole album, but now you can. So of course Drake has more singles than more shit on the charts than everybody else because every song you can measure how many times people listen to it. You can't do that with old albums. You don't know how many times people listen to track 12 because they didn't release that as a single. You know what I mean? Like, that's why the message is not fair to match up. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to even compare those two eras.
Definitely.
You know, every song can go platinum now, and you can't do that back in the day. You could have your platinum single and then your platinum album, and that's it. You couldn't have 16 songs go platinum and shit. It was impossible.
Definitely. Flush, when you look at the business now and then in terms of promotion and how artists are signed and the collaborations put together, how do you see it different from what it was from today, from what it was in the time you were coming up with?
I mean, I guess the main thing is like y'all was saying, the vibe. Man, I gotta before I can do a song with a person, I gotta vibe with them. That's just mandatory. I mean, nowadays, I guess it's good. I mean, and when I came out, you had songs like listen to Eye for Eye. That wasn't a single. That was way at the end of the album. You know what I'm saying? The other shit with Wu-Tang and Nas. OJ, like Came and Good and Go. Like that shit wasn't a single. Your features wasn't even what made you. Those were just like the icing on the cake. You didn't use them singles to make your album.
Yeah, you pretty much used the singles to get the attention of all the people that aren't really your fans. That's pretty much what you did. Like
remixes. That was it. Remix. We had remixes.
Yeah, your real fans weren't. They didn't even care about your single. Like, where it's like, we just saw the single, and we're like, all right, cool. Like, that was for everybody else. Your real fans are skipping that song when they buy the album. They don't even care about that shit because that wasn't for them. We want the track that nobody's talking about. That's where the real shit's at.
When y'all talk about remixes, when y'all talk about remixes, and I gotta throw this in there because when we talk about collaborations and remixes, I gotta throw this in right quick. Last year when we had Steele from Smith & Wesson on it, he told us that hilarious story about how they had to, how they went, to Staten Island, with Raekwon, for the Black Trunk before they did the Black Trunk joy. And then also too, when we talk about remixes, then we talk about remixes. When we think about the Wu-Tang joint, where it was on the Jodeci Freaking You remix, where you had Raekwon and Ghostface on that joint, we were like, where did this come from? But it was
how did y'all put that together? That was a crazy one.
Yeah. And
I seen a lot. It was a lot of crazy collabos during that time, and it was special too. Just like when they had the All Eyes on Me with Tupac, Method Man, Redman, and his Dog Pound.
Yeah, when they did Got My Mind Made Up.
Word.
I was like, how did they get all these? And had a Spectre Deck on the original.
Yeah.
That's true. Word. That was one of my favorite shits too.
That was when I remember the first time.
They all was in the studio.
Yeah, I remember the first time when because we got to get to this too, Flush, because we're going to get your thoughts about how the radio plays music now. But when I first heard that on the radio back in 1996, late fall of 1996, and I heard that, I was like, because we knew about the beef at the time with the East and West Coast. When we heard that, it was like, that was kind of like one of the truths it was coming, and we heard it, and we were like, you got those dudes up there, and they're rhyming like that? It's like, how did this happen? Like, who made that? It was like, it was a beautiful moment to hear all of them like that.
We had to make sure. Yeah, we was making sure. We had to make sure nothing was going to transpire. That's why I was quiet. I was like, uh-oh.
No, I'm still right here. I'm still grooving.
Hey, I was like, I heard some noise. I was like, is that the feds?
Yeah, we heard Shorty in the background. We was like, okay, is everything cool?
I was like, that's the feds. I was like, we ain't talking to nothing deep. We ain't talking about UFOs or nothing.
We talking a moment of silence, man.
We talking hip-hop.
Well, we reminiscing.
That's it.
Good old days, man.
The days we miss, man. You were saying the radio station?
Yeah, about how the programming is, because back in the day, that's how we heard songs like Worldwide. We would hear the deep cuts like What a Shame, on your album. I mean, it was like that's how we were really introduced to a lot of it. And it's like the DJs back in the day. You had radio stations that were individually owned. Now it's all corporate. It's changed in terms of now these labels are given, which they're not supposed to be technically, but the radios are getting paid to play the stuff, and they're giving them a playlist, and that's what's getting played. And it's like they're playing the Yeah, the same 5 songs 20 times in an hour. It's like, man, I'm like, don't y'all have anything different to play? I'm like, shit. I'm like, this hip hop is still around today. There's Griselda.
I think the radio stations back then played shit to make you love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you try this out. Yeah. I think now, whatever they say the world loves, that's what they gotta play. They gotta play whatever they think is whatever got the most. Like, how many followers he got? Play his music.
Right.
He's got 50,000
followers.
Put
that better, man. Look, man, because when I was growing up, the DJ on radio stations, if they was telling you something was dope, you went into it expecting it be good. Like,
we had Stretch Bar Beat though. Stretch Bar Beat though. Co-sign
I swear to God, I was just about to say that. We used to pick up their radio station. Me and my brother would stay up late as hell. It'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we would pick up this college radio station, and we could hear Stretch and Babito, and man, that shit was just, it blew my mind, like the shit that you would hear on that. And I was so happy, like years later, that shit's like is available now. You look at those dudes. When they played something, you would automatically believe that it was going to be good because you trusted in that. And what you just said is exactly right. These dudes don't even really care who's playing the song now. Like, nobody gives a shit about the DJs and who's hosting the shows and all that shit. It's just, this guy got followers, check him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a respect for the guys that, like, we knew our DJs' names and shit. We knew who was the... who had this show. I remember even as late as like the late 2000s and shit, like Clinton Sparks had Smash Time Radio on in here in PA. And like, we couldn't wait for that shit because we was hearing like mixtape joints and new shit that, we wasn't going to hear it, noon on the radio and stuff. I'm talking some jail shit. I was in jail, but, we wasn't going to hear like the pop shit, the hit records. We was going to hear some, real grimy shit. I remember hearing like Saigon and Pat Pudding shit, midnight and shit on Smash Time Radio for Clinton Sparks and shit. Nowadays, like, people don't even have that. They don't even have. There's nothing special like that for them. Like, they don't want it either. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just, what's hot is hot. They don't want that special show. And I see like Yo MTV Raps is coming back and Rap City's Boss and all that, and it's like, that's cool, man, but we might even turn that shit on and like it, but nobody that grew up watching Yo MTV Raps is going to relate what they see on that show to what we saw growing up. Nobody's going to be Ed Lover and Dr. Dre. Like, the shit's just not going to be special like it was to us, and we know that. And to me, it just speaks to a lack of creativity that they gotta jack the shit that was so special to us to try to do it again today. And these kids don't even want it. Like, they don't even want that. They don't understand the relationship we had with our shit, because we had to be home at 5 o'clock to watch the shit, and if we weren't, we missed it. We couldn't watch it on our phones later. You know what I'm saying? So we really love the shit that we love. You know what I mean? Like, we had to check it out at a certain time. You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, like, someone drops their album on Friday, with one press of a button, I can listen to it on Sunday. Who gives a shit? But, like, you don't know, it's like cutting grass for 2 hours to get the money to get to the store to get it and all that. And by the time you do it, that album better be good, because if it ain't, I ain't never fucking with that rapper again, man. Because I had to work for that shit. You know what I mean? But now, you just throw whatever to the wall, whatever sticks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just different. That's why we like having guests like you on the show, man, because, like, when I think Mike Geronimo and Royal Flush, like, man, y'all mean something to me, man. Y'all, like, talking to you guys, man, like, it brings back, like, a different time, man. And, like, I hear some of you guys, like, some of your records, man, like, it might sound weird to you, man, but I think of, like, winter time sometimes, because, like, I remember listening to your album and, like, walking to school in the snow and shit, and they're like skipping school one day. Like I specifically remember listening to Royal Flush and Mike Geronimo with my brother. We skipped school. It was like the first time we skipped school together, and then when my mom found out, and when we left, we usually always had like a backpack with like a bunch of CDs and tapes in it, and we'd listen to it on our headphones and shit. And we forgot it, so we only had one CD, the ones we had in the CD player. And I don't remember which CD it was. It was either Mike Geronimo or Royal Flush, but we listened to that shit all day. And now when I go back and listen to that shit, like, it brings me back to that time. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of the music does for us, man. Like, those times were different, and they were special, and, like, I don't care about no platinum tracks, none of that shit, man. Like, you know, I just think it's appropriate now that we have this little platform here, man, that, you know, we extend it to you guys, man, to let y'all know, like, what y'all really did for us, man. Like, we really do appreciate y'all. Like, if no one else ever did, if the Grammys didn't, none of that shit, man. Like, my brother ain't here no more. Like, when I listen to your record, like, it brings back shit with my brother. It's just different than a song to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I just like to, not like, we got this platform, I like to reach out to the people that mean something to me, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's deeper than rap, man. It really is. And, you know, to me, you're a legend, man, and to a lot of people you are, bro. And, you know, I like to have that opportunity to tell you that, man. You know what I'm saying? That it goes beyond just your skills and all that, man. Like, y'all really, you know, not just you and Mike Geronimo, there's a lot of you, but you guys really did a lot for us, man. It was more than just listening to your records, man. Like, y'all helped us do some shit. Y'all taught us how to move. Y'all taught us how to be men a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that shit, you know, it's more than just a beat and some words y'all around together, man, for real.
Flush, you with us? You with us? Dang, your call got dropped. Are you all right?
Yeah, you should call back.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta get it right, Law Talk. Gonna be on y'all next tonight, man. Really.
But Pat, what you said was real, man, because it's like, you know, that era was special for us. And like you said, in terms of your own CD rap, what you said about it being back, coming back, I understand the spirit of it, but then part of it seems convoluted because it's like they're trying to cash in on nostalgia. And the thing is, number one, are they going to do it right? And number two, you know, because if they do it right, people are going to tune in. But it's like, will the younger generation really care about it? And that's the main thing, because it's special to us.
But here's the thing, man, and here that's going to be hard for us to really understand. We live in a world where people our age that grew up in that shit, man, we got lives and shit, and we all, you know, a lot of us, like, are just living paycheck to paycheck. We don't have time. We're raising kids. We don't have time to buy everybody's shit, to listen to everything, watch everything. So a lot of times when they try to bring something back, it's only us that care. But a lot of us, like a lot of the big percent of us, man, like, we don't got the time, money, and all that shit to really get behind anything. So, like, the shit was like Snoop Dogg buying Death Row. Everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. 5 years from now, are we really is that even going to matter? You know what I mean? Like, I hope so. But, like, what about a couple years ago when that Mount Westmore shit was happening? How often do we talk about that? We don't. We don't talk about it. Some people listen to it, don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. When we see cool shit from our childhood, like, yeah, we all like it when it first happens, man, but, like, man, like, the younger generation doesn't give a shit about it. And that's where it hurts. And you've got to realize, like, back when this shit was special to us, like, 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds weren't buying this shit, and if they were buying it for their kids. So, like, we're the adults now, man, and we're not spending money on that shit. Like, no matter how much we like it. You know what I'm saying? And, like, the kids don't give a fuck. They don't care that it's fucking special to us. They don't care. They're like, so it's like, yeah, it's cool. But, like, they're doing stuff for us. You know, the people that grew up in the 90s and shit, it's cool that they're doing it. But it's like, what recreation from back then paid off? Like what have they done that like there was a playoff for them of something from back in the day that that we fuck with faithfully and it's successful? Nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because everything is just so instant and shit. Like
the nostalgia bag. And you
what's
don't
that?
have the talent. The problem is they don't have the talent to create those new memories. Like, what's the point of having a rap shit? The majority of these guys can't even rap.
Yeah, and like it's just the attention span of everybody too, man. Like, look how fast everything comes and goes, man. Like, if people, like, somebody will put out a fucking good album and everyone's like, classic. But then by Monday, I ain't really talking about it no more. Remember how great Nas's albums were, the past couple ones? Put a gun to someone's head and said, name me 3 songs off those albums. Everybody will stutter and not know what the fuck to do. Because they listened to them for a weekend, and then Kanye West said something crazy, and we got in arguments on the internet about it all week, and we forgot to listen to it. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
That's what happens every time. Like, look at it this way. Name me 5 crazy things that Donald Trump said. You fucking forget, because every day it was something different, and your attention span just isn't where it was. And like, that's with every little thing. They recreate an old movie. Like, how many lines do you remember from Coming to America Part 2? When that dropped, everybody liked it. Do we remember it? No, because we watched it. No. We thought it was cool. We talked about it for the weekend. Monday came, and, LeBron scored 40, so it triggered the Jordan versus LeBron debate. We argued about it, and then that died down. People got blocked, and this person blocked you on Facebook and Instagram, and then Kanye said something, and then Trump said something, and, like, the world's just moving too fast that, like, it's hard to make, and it's not a knock on anybody that's doing anything. It's just the consumer. That's just what the times are. Like, before we had to like listen to our favorite rappers or hear from them, we had to wait for them to be in a magazine or wait for them to be on a TV show. Now we fucking see them eating breakfast on Instagram Live, and we see everything. So like none of that shit's special anymore because you see them all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like that's like comedians when they got to get on Letterman and Johnny Carson and shit. By the time they were on there, like they had funny shit that they wanted to say. Now they got 15-hour podcasts and shit, so it's like you see them not be funny. So like they're not even as good as you really think that they are because like you see too much of everything, and there's just so much out there, and it's just crazy. It's just hard for shit to sink in nowadays. So like. The MTV Raps is a good idea and everything, but like, what is Rap City even still on? Does anybody even know?
I think that's off the air.
Like, it came back. I remember seeing like a Jeezy, something about Jeezy sitting on Rap City. And that's what I'm talking about. We don't even know if it's on the air still. You know what I mean? But then we'll see videos to get 2 million likes and views and shit of somebody from 2005 spitting a freestyle and say the Rap City of the Basement needs to come back. And motherfucker, it's been back. And it already got canceled. Or if it didn't, we don't even know if it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just, it's sad but true, but like, there's nothing sinking into people, and like, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault or, anything like that. It's just, I believe there's just too much, and nothing special anymore. I mean, like this rapper releases something, you might not fuck with that album because you saw that dude do something corny on Instagram Live, so you just think he's a cornball now. Back in the day, man, we only seen these rappers when they were on TV on a rap show, and we looked at them like they were celebrities and all that shit, and like they were superheroes to us. But now, you see them all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of it too. Every time I see Bones X and Harmony, I think of Busy Bone with that fucking musket talking to the Migos. And I can't take him serious now.
Every time, hey, Jake, I'm the same way with Game. Every time I think of Game, I think of Whack 100 leaning his elbow like.
So don't get me started. Like, I know exactly what you mean, man. So, like, back in the day, like, look at all these iconic moments we have from Tupac and shit. That's because we didn't see him every second of the fucking day. If we did, man, we probably would have seen Tupac doing something corny with his girlfriend and just think he's a sucker for love and fucking, like, he'd be canceled. We're like, yeah, that's a cool song, dude, but we know you're a pussy on your girlfriend. Like, that's how, like, people are nowadays. So, like, by the time you see something, like, you've seen too much of their lives and shit. Like, and shit clouds your mind with more than what you should know them about. Like, like I don't know who, like, we were talking to Royal Flush, man. Who did he vote for in 1996? We don't fucking know. We don't fucking care. But now, we know all that shit. We know who you voted for. We know what your fucking diet is. We know what your girlfriend looks like. We know what kind of car you drive. We know all that shit. And it's just too much bullshit.
But, Pat, you got to think about it, too. You got to think about what's going on, y'all. Because back in the day, that time Flush was out there, we were all younger. Hip-hop was really an exclusive fraternity, which was really based around the music itself and the magazine. It was not a situation where it became a media, when social media, and we're not bashing social media on this show because social media has done great things for us, but when you're looking at how social media came into the game and once it really got corporate as it went along the evolution of the business, it became just that, a business. This became about not you selling the music, but you selling an image and a personality at a wider scale. That's like what you said, Pat, about why we're seeing more of them, because you got these people telling them you need to have the public know more about you as a person. And certain things, it's like this. Do we really know what Jay-Z and Beyonce, what they do as a family? No. And that's a good thing, because Jay-Z keeps his personal life just that, private. Do we really see what E40 and his wife think? His kids are grown now. But do we really have to know about E40's life? No, we don't. And that's okay. Do we need to know about Jeezy and his wife? No, and it's okay. And that's what some of these artists have to understand. Your life does not have to be out there in public all the time. It doesn't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, like how Eric just mentioned the game. Like, bro, in 2004, 2005, like, the Game could do no wrong in my book. Like, he was great.
And we didn't know a lot about him at the time. We heard about him. I remember, I still got the XXL when they were profiling him, and this is when I'd heard about him. I hadn't heard any music yet, but I just saw the picture, and I was like, okay, so this is the dude that they're talking about. I wouldn't hear the music till a little bit later, but it was like there was still a mystery about him. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't really know about it. Now at the times we're like, gang, we're hearing too much about you now, and it's not good.
Yeah, and I mean, everything now, fucking, like, it's like nothing really, like, like the XXL, for instance. All you pretty much, like, all they are now is like a media, like, gossip site, like news site, you know what I mean? But that's all you get from them, and then once a year you get the freshman cover. And sometimes the freshman thing has worked for them, you know what I mean? And, like, sometimes they're right about the people they pick, but the putting stock in those people that they pick, that shit has gone down because they're only picking the people that already have the following and already, they're not going to pick somebody that only has 1,000 followers on the cover. But, like, when the freshman thing first was started, the people that they put on it were, like, they already had, like, little regional followings and come up, like, and it meant something. Let me read you. I was in jail when this came out, but I already knew a handful of these guys.
Break it down, Pat. Break it down.
Here's the original freshman. Okay. Plies and Rich Boy and Gorilla Zoe. Okay.
I have that issue.
Okay. Saigon.
Papoose, I think, was on that too.
Papoose. Young Dro, Joel Ortiz, Crooked Eye, Lupe Fiasco, and Little Boozy. Now, all those guys, when you break them down one by one, majority of those guys have like a nice little following. They have a good history, and when you really look at the times that Double XL Pitbull does on the cover, what all those artists were doing at that time, they were all a part of something that we still held as precious to us.
Right, so you regarded it as a good time in music. Right, absolutely right.
Yeah, Saigon Papoose, he was Joel Ortiz. They were in the New York. They were next in line. They were the new Nas and Jay and all that. Like they were in that class. The mixtape mid 2000 New York still had that gritty sound to them. They were excited about Little Boosie. He was signed to Pimp C. He was from Louisiana. He had like a sound that reminded you of like the No Limit Cash Money type shit. It was, under Pimp C, you thought, cool, this dude's going to go on. Crooked Eye, he was on Death Row with Corrupt and Spider Loke and Left Eye, and you got Petey Pablo, and he was part of Death Row and shit. The West Coast, oh shit, we got a new West Coast guy from Death Row, holy shit, you know what I mean? Lupe, he was the next Kanye, you know what I mean? And the Plies, Gorilla Zoe at the time, like, I'm not going to front like I knew who they were really before that, because I really didn't. But Rich Boy, he had that there's some D's on that bit. And that shit was hard, bro. That shit was hard. So all of those guys, what you heard from them so far was exciting. It was new. And for them to be on that cover, you're like, oh, sweet. Like, these dudes are going to go somewhere. They got the exposure of Double XL. Now you already have to be somewhere. You like, the Double XL isn't getting you anywhere that you're not already at. You understand what I mean?
Right.
Like, you already have to get there for them to get you on the and like the Double XL needs the 10 freshmen. The 10 freshmen don't need the Double XL anymore. If Double XL stopped doing the freshman thing, they're done. All the freshman thing is now is just that freestyle. And guess what? Those rappers don't understand. Double XL is 150 billion% marketing that. We're going to put this out so all the young kids see all their rappers and shit, but all the old heads get to laugh at this. And that's what they're doing.
And I got to say something about that. And I got to speak on that too, Pat, because I have every issue from when they first started in 1997, and you're absolutely right in terms of how it's changed, because as the marketing, as the journalism changed, their journalism has never been questioned. They do great journalism still. I'm not a fan of how they do it now, because the problem is they've taken out a lot of the elements that made it great from talking about so many different things, the world events, what was going on in the country itself and the hoods. And like you said, now it's really just become the latest magazine in terms of profiling a lot of artists, which is good because it's all hip-hop, but it's not really delving deep like it once did. And like you said, when you look at the freshman issues, which is like you're absolutely right, Pat. When you're looking at how they're known for the freshman issues, it's cool because it's always knowledge to know about who's coming next. And I think any knowledge is good. The problem is that a lot of these artists now that are coming, they're fleeting. A lot of these artists who they said was going to be the next ones, they haven't really fulfilled their potential. A couple did, but a lot of them, they haven't gotten to that next level like they thought they would.
Yeah, you know? And it really is now. It's just kind of everything is like the social media changed the game, and like for real, like I'm not gonna criticize the Double XL because like it's hard to transfer with the times, and like for me to say, oh, oh, they didn't do this or that, right? Who am I to say that? Like, it's hard to make certain moves. You can't really predict how things are going to go and all that. So, like, right now it seems like you got, like, the freshman cipher thing that they do every year. It's kind of like that's what they have. Like, that's their staple there. Like, that's their sports center. You know what I mean? And that's how they eat. That's how they live. You know what I mean? But, like, in all reality, if they stop doing that, what's Double XL that Hip Hop DX ain't, and what Rosa for Hedge ain't? Like, it's just a hip hop site. That's all it is. So, like, they're kind of the only ones left that are actually doing something other than being a website. And like I said, they kind of need the freshmen. The freshmen don't really need them. That's not really doing anything for the freshmen. That's pretty much just putting their name back in the headline for a week.
It's on a brand.
It's on you know what I mean? Like, that's just, like, oh, if I do this, my name will be buzzing for that week with the freestyles up and shit. You know what I mean? They're like, if they don't do it, it's cool. Like, they still have their following, and they'll just have to, you know, try to make a buzz in another week. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, who was last year's freshman? You know, before, we don't remember that shit. We remember for, like, the week that it happens. Like, so it's just like, I don't know. As I said, I don't want to criticize any of them because
no, Pat.
It's hard to predict what to do. You know, like, if you find something that works for you, whatever. Like, if the freshman thing is all they got, it's still more than what a lot of places got, because a lot of places don't have anything that attracts people once a year. Like, that's their Super Bowl, is the freshman thing. And it's like, I'm not going to hate on them for it because, hey, man, at least they got something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the funny thing what you mentioned
about
the freshmen, the one thing you mentioned about the freshman, Pat and King, is also, too, Benny, they asked Benny to be on it, and Jay-Z told him not to do it. Mm-hmm. And the more you say this, Pat, I think I understand why Jay told Benny not to do it.
How was that?
You know, I understand it now, because Benny,
part of it is why I said is because Double XL definitely knows that a large percentage of people that watch those freshman freestyles are there to make fun of those rappers. So,
and you ain't gonna make fun of Benny the Butcher. He's just
So it's like it's a bad look for him, because, like, the audience that Benny caters to is us, is the older guys, the lyricism street guys.
Right.
If you lump them in with those guys, the people that haven't heard Benny yet are gonna think that he's a mumble rapper. No matter how dope he is, they're gonna think that of him because he's on the stage with these other people with blue and pink hair. So, like, I think that was a smart move telling him to skip that, because he didn't need it. And like I said, Double XL knows damn well that the fans of those rappers up there, they'll just be in the comments defending them. But they know a large percentage of the people watching them are there to make fun of them. Like, there's always that moment from when young guys, the old heads make fun of. This year it was Coi Leray, Benzino's daughter, twerking. She stopped halfway through a freestyle and started shaking her ass. Or, like, she's a little skinny, annoying broad. And, like, we all laughed at her. And she sucks. You know what I mean? Like, she can't rap for shit. Like,
King, I'm still laughing at comments.
Like, we watch it for that. We watch it to make fun of them. You know?
Yeah, the dead silence.
So I guess it's my move for Benny not to do that. Like, I don't want to see Benny on stage with those people, and that's a bad look for him. Like, you know, instead, look what Benny got. Benny got a verse from J. Cole that will go down as a great song. Like, that song's gonna. It kind of sounds like J. Cole's dissing him on it, but I don't think he is. I don't know. Do you guys think he? Did you guys hear the song?
I think that's more so competition there. They must.
I mean, like you heard what Cole said. Like, do you think that Cole was subliminally dissing Benny?
I think there's a little jaw jacket in the comp. Like, you know, man, you can't go. I think it was a situation where Benny was pushing J. Cole, like, man, you ain't nice as shit.
Yeah, and I think
like that.
I mean, look, J. Cole's an intelligent dude. I think if he knows that he's gonna spit a bar like that on that record, that people are gonna take it like he's talking about Benny. So even if he wrote it not talking about Benny, he still, I think, was aware that people would take it like that, and he still spit it. So, like, there has to be a percentage of what he said it had to be about Benny. You know what I mean? And really, maybe that's what he was doing, because maybe he thinks that, I mean, look, man, people that know real lyricists and shit, yeah, we all fuck with Griselda. We all think those guys are dope. But we look at Benny as somebody that can actually be something, as far as, like, we don't think they just spitting, you know, coke raps on dope-ass beats is his career. Like, we expect him to be something. Like, I mean, Benny is like a once-in-a-generation type of MC. So I think Cole spitting those bars was kind of like, hey, Benny, you're fucking dope. Like, we don't want 30 albums of coke raps, bro. Like, go deeper, because, like, you can, and you're that dope. Like, I think, that's for real, that's what I think J. Cole was kind of doing. Was like, don't be that guy, Benny. Like, spread your wings a little bit. You know what I mean? Because, like, there is something special about Benny. He's one of the few people that has the whole package there, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you got the street cred, you got the talent, you got the look, you got all of it. You know what I mean? You got the respect, everything. So, like, don't just be the gritty dude that just raps on Alchemist beats and shit your whole career. Don't be that. Like, be, you know, something we never seen before, because that's what we think you are. That you can be that. Like, he can be Nas. You know what I mean? Like Benny can definitely do that. Like, he's special, man.
I think from it with Benny is indeed a monster talent. All three of them are. The roster they have, of course, you know, of course, with Armani Caesar and, of course, Boldy James, you know, Bleed Lord.
Lost Conway. They lost Conway.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean they lost Conway?
He just announced yesterday or the day before. Did he pull up?
He left?
He left Shady. He left Griselda.
Yeah, Conway, yeah.
I didn't know this. Y'all just schooled me on something. What's going on with that?
Yeah, he's a free agent. He left Griselda and he left Shady.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up here. Yeah, he left everywhere, man. He's kind of on his own. But, hey, call me crazy. Because I think there's a chance maybe he could go to Death Row.
Well, I mean, drum work, I know with his label drum work. I know with drum work, I know with his label, he's really concentrating on trying to build drum work. All three of them have their own label, and all three of them are tremendously talented. Conway is just unbelievable. I mean, Benny is special, but Conway is just, he's on another planet. I mean, some of the stuff he says, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, where did this dude get that? You know, I think from perspective.
This is just 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Conway the Machine revealed he's officially off Griselda in addition to Eminem Shady Records. And he has a new album coming. He's an independent artist. He was on, matter of fact, you can shout out to this dude too, because this dude does good interviews. And, like, while he gets very good guests and shit, you don't really hear his name mentioned with some of the great interviewers out there. But Bootleg Kev, I actually got a lot of love for Bootleg Kev.
Absolutely.
The Bootleg Kev podcast. It was released on Friday, February 18th, and Conway the Machine explained how, for the first time in his career, the only label he is currently signed to is his own, Drum Work Imprint, following the end of his contract with Griselda and Shady Records. So, and he said, Drum Work, I mean, as of right now. So, maybe he'll sign somewhere else, but for now, he's no longer Griselda. Now, I don't know what that means as far as like the label goes. Would there still be maybe like Griselda as a group? But I don't know. Like, who knows, man? Like, it would suck if those guys stopped making music together just because like that was a homegrown group. They weren't like put together by the industry or nothing. You know what I mean? Like they grew up together and so
they're family. I'm gonna tell you something about that though. When we look at situations in terms of entrepreneurship, especially in the industry, Pat, you are just as much of a scholar, if not more so, than both of us in terms of knowing the stuff you know. So you understand how many artists over the years have gone out trying to do their own label, and how many, because they wanted a situation that they felt like it was all them. They wanted to show that they could do it themselves. Fat Joe had Terror Squad records. Snoop Dogg, he went out with Doggy Style records back in the day. Waka Flocka, with Brick Squad Monopoly, which was under Gucci, but you're seeing a lot of artists who want to get out there and do it on their own. And that is like the ultimate testament to really validating your career, showing that while you have somebody give you a springboard, that you are able to navigate your own path, which I think is great, because I'm always going to tell anybody, if you got a dream, follow it. Just make sure you're following through the correct way. Griselda's
this is a crucial time for Conway. This is a very crucial time for Conway now. He's going to face pressure that he's never faced before. Because now that he's not with Griselda and Shady and everybody, and with Benny moving to Def Jam and making a lot of noise and stuff, so now he's going to be compared to those guys and shit. So, the next time he comes, he's going to have to bring it, man. You know what I mean? He's going to have to do something. Like if he could put out something that people don't really feel, man, that could set him back very far. Because people, if he puts out something that's not that great, he'll be like, you see, never left Griselda, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are going to, how this shit is, man. They build you up to tear you down. They'll jump